Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. So I recently had a friend of mine just came back home from prison, and we did time together back in the early 2000s. When I say early 2000s, like 2002, 2003. And he went back to prison in these late 2000s, and he was telling me how the atmosphere is. And I spoke to a couple other people who I know who are in prison, and the sentiment is all the same. It's getting harder and harder to keep your manhood. And I'm listening to what they telling me, because back when I went to prison, you can get your booty taken. You can get your manhood taken. You know, back in the 70s and the 60s and even the 80s, they were hard R-wording dudes straight out their manhood. They were just taking it from them. 2 of them hold you down. 1 of them goes off in you. You know, coming to the 90s, if you stood up and stand for yourself and fight, you had a chance. But you had to fight back for your manhood. I don't think nobody wants to fight for their manhood. They don't even want their manhood. They just want to give it up. They want to get underneath that bunk. You know, dudes go to prison, man. It's everything they ever hoped for. You get a bunk and a punk. And for some people, a bunk, a punk, and, 3 meals a day, that's living. And he's telling me that they're up in there and they living out their sexual fantasies, because you could bump heads all day long underneath them bunks. And he said them dudes are going home. And he said it's crazy because their wives are visiting them, and their wives know that they're prison punks, and they still have a wife too, you know? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so if things got so hard for people to keep their manhood, then where'd that all come from? But I think it came from society, because it's getting harder and harder to keep your manhood in society. Hear me out. They have a lot of Hollywood celebrities, actors, musicians. They're coming out talking about these parties. You know, these Diddy parties are a common theme where they were getting loaded, taking alcohol and drugs, and getting naked together in a mansion room. There was always that upstairs room they talk about. You go in the upstairs room, and you and your friend could do things that was considered, not a good thing to do back in the day, but they were doing it anyway. Well, these are the people who have influence over the youth, and so they've convinced the youth that being a punk is okay. I seen punk gangster rappers. They had a punk. I'm watching. There's more than one. And people are going out rocking their music. Man, back then, dudes might have been sagging their pants and people laughing and everything, but them dudes who were sagging their pants wasn't giving their booty up. They'd shank you, but they wasn't giving that booty up. Nowadays, they got them skinny tight jeans, and they still rocking them tight jeans, but them tight jeans cause you to give up your booty. And it's a different time. It's a different day and age. When I went to prison, I was a teenager. I was a young white boy in a southern prison. And if you a young white dude in a southern prison, you're going to fight, or you're going to lay back under that bunk and get taken. So dudes tested me. I got in my fights. I stood my ground. And I seen some dudes do the same as me. Some young white dudes. Even young black dudes were getting their booties taken, or they were giving it up. And then the old-time convicts, when I went in the 90s, the convicts were telling me in Angola, Hunt, DeQuincy, they were just taking it from dudes, just hard taking them. They'd come down the walk. They'd come in the dorm. 2 goons would grab you, put you underneath the bunk, and take your booty and your store. So, your butt would be taken. Your canteen would be taken. Your cigarettes would be taken. Everything would be taken. And eventually, you'll just turn yourself out and get a prison nickname like Black Gold, Black Diamond, Hot Ice, White Ice, And now, the dude was telling me, my partner was telling me, that he was the only white dude in the whole dorm that wasn't turned out. And so what happened was they went from taking it to talking you out of it. So they can convince people to give up their butt, and they ain't never got to physically, aggressively hurt them. They just talk them out of it. They play Snickers bars under the bed when I was in prison. If you had a Snicker bar under your bed and you ate that Snickers bar, the dude was going to come back for that Snickers bar. I only seen 1 or 2 dudes who ate that Snickers bar and they didn't get that Snickers bar back up. They actually wound up taking more Snickers bars, but they were savages. If you ain't no savage and you eat that Snicker bar, you're going to get your savage hole taken. And that's what's happening now, man. So dudes are giving it up in society. And if you giving up your manhood in society, you know you're going to give your manhood up in prison, so you don't stand a chance. And I figured we'd talk about this, man. I got this indigestion, man. It's rough. But I'm about to go out here and do some door dashing. Gotta make ends meet. Gotta figure it out, y'all. Some people are going on Instagram and they're giving up their booty on Instagram. Just because you ain't had nobody physically take it like that don't mean you ain't giving it up. If you showing it on Instagram or Hot Fans, OnlyFans, whatever they call OnlyFans, then you're OnlyFans punk. You free world punk, OnlyFans punk, prison punk. They got punks everywhere. Don't be no punk. I'm trying to help you out today, man. Keep your manhood. Stay solid, man. Stay a man, man. Don't fall into the temptations, man. Don't become a punk rapper, a boy rapper. Don't be that. If you're going to be a rapper, but don't be no boy rapper. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Give me a like and subscribe to the Pen and The Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison channel experience on YouTube.